Hi, I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. Now the pruning saw, different kind of cat. Because it didn't have V-shaped gullets, we actually used a flat file. This one is a safe edge file, and I did that so that I didn't nick up the other teeth as I was going along, sharpening one and running the edge of the file up against it. But for this saw, we're going to be using a Stanley slim taper file. Ideal for angle shaping of material, woodworking, and sharpening tools. Brand new out of the box. We'll mount a handle on it. There. Now we have to joint this one, just like we did every other saw we file. So we'll put some Dykem on the thread, on the teeth, because we're going to treat this like any other saw plate. It has teeth on it. They're triangular shaped. They have a 60-degree gullet. We're going to go through and we're going to sharpen this blade like I would any other blade. Ooh, that smells pretty strong. Looks like somebody made a boo-boo. We've got an extra hole in there. There's only 2 in the handle, and there's 3 in the saw plate. Won't bother anything. Might make the saw a little bit lighter, but this is the same saw it was when we took it and put it into the vise here, so we haven't changed a thing. Now I can see the teeth are way out of joint. Just now managed to touch the top of all the teeth, but 1, 2, 3 right back there. And since those are never going to really be in the cut, I'm not going to take it down any further than that. Now this is a crosscut saw. So when I file this one, instead of going straight across like I would with a rip saw, I'm going to have to do like I did with this pruning saw and go at an angle. But it's a specific angle. I want to be about 15 degrees off straight. In other words, I want to run about 75 degrees from perpendicular. One, 2. 1, 2. Well, we have sharply pointed teeth. Now we have to set them. And here is where the original issue with the saw plate is. This saw was set incorrectly. It was set backwards. And it only had set on one side. But if your intent was to cut balsa wood or cardboard or styrofoam, you were probably going to be okay. But wood requires a little bit more finesse.
Okay, I've got the teeth lined up. Now I'm going to use this saw set and go along and bend every other tooth, in this case away from me. Then I'm going to flip the saw around and bend the other side. Same thing, flip it around, bend the tooth away from me, so that the saw ends up cutting a wider kerf than what the plate thickness is. Simple process. Setting the teeth, especially on a little thin plate like this one, can dull them. You can hit them with the anvil. You're running the saw set across the top of the teeth. You knock off the tips. So we're going to go through and touch them up after I've done the set.
Okay, we've set the blade, we've sharpened the blade, we've jointed the blade. Let's see what we've done with the blade. Put the screws back in it. Well, that explains some of it. I need to use a metric wrench to tighten the bolts. The slots are set to metric. Make sure I've got the screw heads clocked correctly and snug them up nice and tight with my metric fits-all wrench. Okay, I can take this out of the saw vise, remove the saw vise from the main vise, put our piece of poplar back in, and see if we can cut a straighter line. That's the way it looked before, it cut off to the right. See if we can track a straight line now. Not quite perfect, I'm off a little bit on that angle. That's probably me more than the saw. Just to make sure, we'll take another cut. And I'm going to move the camera over here so that I can stand in a proper stance. Yep. I think we made a good cut. So even this little tiny saw can be made to cut a straight line if you sharpen it correctly. Okay, John. Saw is sharp. Put some wax on the plate. So what did we learn today? Even an inexpensive saw can be made to cut better than what it was. How long will this saw sharpening last on this saw? I don't know. The plate of steel is spring steel. Depends, I guess, on what John's going to be cutting with it. But the teeth that he has on it now are straight and square and they're set correctly. And if he doesn't run into any nails or hit anything too hard, should be fine for quite a while. This pruning saw, this is a classic example of a pruning saw. Good thick plate, solid saw, probably something that my grandfather would have had, and still in good condition. If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching. Have some fun with your sauce.